And the time's ticking. Of course, like people say, oh, you know, you're in your prime in your early 20s and whatnot. There's people who do say you're in your prime in your early 30s. But if you don't have that balance, you might lose everything in those early 20s.
Yeah.
If you put all of your eggs into one basket.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing the daytime job, and I'm like to do, if you guys can do a daytime job, like, or even part-time, just get your money in, because you can also pay for other stuff that way as well.
And then I hit 30 and I had the best year of my life, which just put everything into perspective. And I had to go through these journeys. I had to go through this confusion and lessons, but I had to learn from them. And I had to sit down, use all those lessons to be able to get to the next step. Now I realise, and in hindsight, I look back and I said, well, this was all for a reason. Everything I went through was for a reason. But there were points I could have given up.
Yeah, easily.
I could have said, this is too much, and
Personally,
given up.
I feel like from the Love Island times, you could have easily given up that time. I don't know how mentally, when you came home after that month, and then you went to a day job, going back now, and then we're talking about the salon, and let's just put all of those, let's say, L's, which are actually W's in my opinion, because at least you tried it, you've done something. You can say amongst other people you've done something at least.
In hindsight, they are W's.
Yeah,
100%.
as well.
At the time, they felt like losses.
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm saying.
I lost money and certain things.
Wait, did the Love Island thing pay?
No. They pay you loss of earnings while you're out there. I mean,
loss of earnings.
Loss of earnings, yeah.
Well, that's minimum wage, though, did it?
It's rubbish, but I mean, I was on there for.
I thought they would have shoved you a quick bag in there.
No. You get paid loss of earnings, but that depends on how long you're on the show. I wasn't really on the
2
show.
days. Yeah.
You know, what were they going to give me 50 quid and you're on your way?
Yeah.
You know.
But then you would have spunked it all in Spain, didn't you?
Yeah, I would have, 100%. But no, you don't get paid for any of these things. You get paid in exposure, and it's what you do next.
It's what you do with it as well, isn't it?
I
do feel like the exposure thing is a bit outdated now. I don't think it really works like that anymore.
I mean, you can get exposure by doing stupid things on the internet now.
Yeah. I'd rather do that, if I'm honest, than have some big company like ITV tell me, actually, ITV, if you want to give me exposure, man's active. But
pick up ITV.
Yeah, there are other brands available as well. But my main thing is that when you're going back to what I was saying, I feel like, you know, at the time, if there were like losses during that time or like big L's that you're taking, that's like really detrimental to your mental health as well as your like seeing your drive and your perspective. How was you feeling that time when you came home and you was like, I don't want to do this job no more? Was it the drive that took you to the other place, or was it like, or did you go into a hole for a bit of time?
Not straight away. I went into a hole. I went into a complete hole. I couldn't show it though because of pride, and I think the closest I got to giving up was during lockdown. Not to get too deep, but I went into a very, very dark place where I didn't want to do anything. I wasn't even sure I wanted to be there. Yeah. And again, great support group, great people around me, some incredible friends, and they said, you know, just carry on. And
is that what you'd say was the main reason as to like that kept you going, was the people around you?
When I was at that dark place, I found God again. And with that gave me a focus, and it gave me an area to study. And I realized everything that I was chasing it means nothing. None of this means anything. Who am I trying to impress anymore? You know, and when I say it removed my ego, that was because what is all? None of it means anything.
Yeah.
None of it means anything at the end of the day. All these followers, these numbers, none of it means anything. And I realized, you know, I'm not spending enough time with my family. I'm just focusing on absolute crap that at the end of the day means nothing. So it really humbled me and put me in a position where when I woke up, it was like, right, my priorities have to be X, Y, and Z. And that's...
So what was your priorities before that time where you know, had a real reality check with yourself? What was your priorities before that you changed? So then, like for me personally, I'd say before lockdown, my priorities were just to make money. But now my priorities are still to make money. Don't get me wrong. Money is a big motivator for me. But I've also realized that taking care of myself physically is very, very important. That's one thing I didn't do. Was like make sure because I'm young. I was like, it'll be okay. So I was just eating whatever I wanted to eat, drank whatever I wanted to drink. Never really exercised much and stuff like that. Then when lockdown came, it all caught up on me. I put on like shed load of weight. I was getting ill. I was getting sick. Like my hay fever was like up like so much worse than it used to be, and it was like a snowball effect of every little thing. And I just like was getting like the flu like that. I was feeling sick. I still suffer with this to this day. Like I can't eat certain foods anymore because like my stomach is like so sensitive now. But it's just from eating fast food all the time and stuff like that. Now I can barely eat any fast food. That's because of product of what I was doing over the past X amount of years in my 20s. So now my priorities are changing, saying, cool, let me make money, but let's not forget that if I'm gonna need to exercise once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week, or if I need to, go and see my family, or spend time with the younger kids in the family, or go see my friends and chill with them a little bit, or sometimes I'll like, let me see what Satch is doing and let me spend some time there, or see what Shuman's doing and spend some time there, or see what Nish is doing, spend some time there, like like do certain things which benefit other people as opposed to myself.
And that's right. And before lockdown, I think that to be completely honest, I was selfish. I was in a selfish place. It was all about me. It was, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, and I'm gonna do this. And that affected relationships. It affected a lot of things in my life, and it made everything temporary. And I had nothing permanent. There was nothing permanent in my life. Everything was so temporary. When you're, when you get into bed on your own in the evening, you look at it, it's like, this is not how I want the rest of my life to be. So, in terms of priorities, what they changed, it made me come out there, and it made me start seeing other people again, and saying, well, I need to start working as a team for a start. I need to start growing with people, and it's not all about me anymore. I think my focus suddenly became helping other people and being with my family more. So prior to lockdown, I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to be celebrity. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. And after it, I looked at it and I said, I don't want to be any of those things. I just want enough. I just want enough time in the day to be able to see my family and make sure that I'm there for them. I just want enough to be able to pay my bills. I just want enough. And once I wasn't chasing the millions, I was just chasing enough. I think that's when it just went okay for me, because I was no longer, and I prayed on it. I prayed on it, and I asked for guidance of what am I supposed to be doing. And from that moment, when I really dedicated myself to my faith and doing the right thing, everything kind of clicked. And that's, like I said, my 30s was my best year of my life so far. Being 30, was the best year of my life so far. And that's because I gave my focus and energy to God. And I think it doesn't matter how much talent or how good looking you are, or how much charisma and how much people like you, without God, none of it means anything. And that's one thing that I really realized. And I realized all this TV show reality stuff, this doesn't sit right with what I believe. And I've always believed it, but I never focused on it. And I think I lost my faith throughout that journey, chasing all this materialism and rubbish. And I got to a point where, when I found that again, I realized it was mindset. My mindset changed. I don't need that. I don't want that. And I don't need to be that type of person. I want enough for me, enough for my family, enough for my friends. And I want to be in a position that I can help people. So following that, I'll talk about what I'm doing now and what followed that.
Well, before we talk about what you're doing now, I got a bone to pick with you. Every time I go on TikTok, bro, I just see your face, and I don't understand. I don't understand it. So, for the listeners and the viewers, right, just to break it down, every time I don't go on TikTok often. I actively don't go on TikTok often because I get lost in TikTok.
Yeah,
I just literally scroll all day. But every time I go onto TikTok, consistently, and I rate you for this, you're always live on TikTok. And I don't know if it's because of the time I'm going or because you're always just putting in the work there. And I know you're putting in work there, but you need to educate us as well, because I don't get it. Bruv, every single time you lot are sitting doing some battles which I don't understand, and then all I can hear is, oh yeah, we need 10 more roses and stuff like that. I'm like, bruv, what is this? I'm there, and then the baddest thing, because obviously people don't know that I know you, yeah. So I don't know if you noticed this, I'm always trolling in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm always saying something mad that will like make you react to something that nobody else will understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, with all of that, I've always looked at TikTok from the very beginning as a bunch of kids doing silly dance moves. And
Yeah. That's what
I'm not
interested, isn't it?
I never even had the app.
Yeah.
And it was all big, and this was all during lockdown. Everyone was on it, and they were loving it. And I'm too old for that rubbish.
Yeah.
And I was at the position in my life where I was almost giving up on being the creative and thinking I need to go back to my academic side and, maybe work myself up on a commercial, in an office and doing the suit and tie business. And my friend said to me, he said, mate, you should go live on TikTok. I said, why? I said, for what? And he said, mate, just trust me, just do it. And I said, I'm not interested. And one day I drove to KFC.
Where all the best things happen.
All the best stories start with, I drove to KFC. And I was sitting there eating my food in my car, just on I don't know what day it was, just sitting there on an afternoon, just having a little bit of KFC, just a bit hungry, just floating around and sitting on my phone bored. I thought, well, it was playing on my mind what my friend said to me. I thought, let me just go live. Because I used to do that on Facebook Live. I used to sit there for hours on Facebook Live when I was younger, just performing my music and stuff. But there was no sort of, there was nothing to make you want to come back. I did it for the love of it and the fun of it. So I said, all right, let me go on live. So I clicked it. I was just sitting there eating my chicken. And I didn't have many followers on TikTok. The algorithm on there is pretty great. It pumps anyone that's interested in what you're doing, it will pump them to you. So suddenly I had like a load of people in my life, and everyone's talking to me, and they're like, this and this and this, you should come back, and blah, blah, blah. And within 20 minutes of being on it, I'd spoken to a bunch of great people who, when I said I do music, they were like, we want to hear it. So now I had a reason to come back on when I got home. So I came off and I got home, and I thought that was really stimulating. I really enjoyed that. I put my camera back on, and then I performed my music. And suddenly, after all the, after releasing it, lockdown happening, me sort of losing the buzz, it brought my buzz back. And it was a whole new group of people to perform to and share my music with. And they loved it. And it was like, it gave me some stimulation, that buzz again. I was like, this is great. This is what I've been kind of searching for. And so I just was consistent with it every single day going on, because I knew every day there's new people joining. There's another 100 people to show my music to. You show it to 100, 2 people might like it. They might go stream it. Okay, well, you can make money off streams. Maybe if I keep doing this over and over again, 2 people will be 20, 20 will be 200, 200 will be 2,000, so on and so forth. And I was just consistent. And like I said, I got to a point where I wanted to do things for other people. So I was performing my music, but I was also trying to build a community, which is ultimately what I've done. I've built a community online with a couple hundred people now, and we're a big friendship group. And with that, everybody streams the music, so I get to be creative. I get to come back and be the jack of all trades, because I don't just do music on there. I do book clubs, which is...
What's that?
So every Tuesday. So when I get home tonight, I've got a book club. So at the minute, we're reading 48 Laws of Power.
So you just sit there reading?
I sit there for an hour. I do a law every week.
Okay.
For the next 48 weeks. I think we've got 44 weeks to go until we finish the book now. But every week we do a different chapter, and then we talk about it and go over how we're going to implement certain changes into our life throughout the week.
Okay.
And this is what sort of keeps the viewers captivated, because they're like, okay, yeah, well, this isn't just the usual old rubbish on TikTok. There's value in this.
Well, I ain't see none of that value. All I see you is asking for roses and unicorns and whatnot.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build value because you're right. There is all of that side of
Yeah.
TikTok. There's the fun and games, and there's all the, there's all the silly games, and there's just having fun on it. But then I thought to myself, well, I don't want to waste my time just doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to be able to give back, and I want to be able to do something it's really helpful. So we read Atomic Habits, we read David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. We went through a number of books, and that helped a lot of people. I had a number of messages after the live. Rob, you've really helped me. You've really helped change my mindset. You this and this and this. Getting those messages was that feeling of I'm doing something right, and that was a good feeling. So I just stayed consistent with it. So I mean, in terms of what you're talking about, there's moments we'll go on with other creators, and you can have games and stuff. That's more for the entertainment value, but then there is a learning value in my lives.
Yeah.
As well, so we do a film club every Thursday as well. So on top of that, it's a community vibe.
I'd be on that film Thursdays thing.
Yeah,
you even know about that? Yeah. I watch bare films. Yeah, I love films. I'm more of a series kind of guy, like a bang out box series.
Yeah,
but I love films.
We've got a Discord chat, so everybody that comes into the live, thousands of people come in every night, but 10 of them might join the Discord, and that grows every day. And that's the team, that's the community that we've built. And for people that are on the internet and they're lonely, or they need a space to meet people, or they want to find some friends, or they want to learn something, I wanted to give a bit of everything. No matter what you're looking for, our community has it. So you come in there now, and if the world's a dark place at the moment.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you've just touched on something really good there, because I feel like probably our era was a bit different, because I feel like if you was born in the 90s, you probably had some of the best era in the sense of making friends.
We were outside, right?
We was outside. Summers were outside. None of this internet stuff. None of this TikTok, Instagram. It was we was outside, and you got beats from your mom and dad. And that was the reality of stuff. Like, your neighbors would beat you if you was like messing around. Everybody looked out for you. Now it's a very, very weird place. Like, you'd
go out, graze your leg, and you get told to man up.
Yeah. And on top of that, you go out and graze your leg, and no one will help you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality of what's happening today. And people like you and I are probably haven't realised it. But when was the last time you said hello to your neighbour? Like, you don't realise
it's weird. I thought about that on the way up here.
Yeah, like, it's not normal anymore.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't talk to their neighbours. So,
because I'm going away soon, and then I thought, who's going to look after my cat?
Yeah.
Who's going to look after my cat? And I thought, I really wished I had a good relationship with my neighbours.
Maybe we need to start building this and look after the cat. But that's my point. Is like, we're in a very, very different era. So, because we had that when we was younger, we don't really think about it now. We just kind of got on with our lives.
Yeah.
But the younger people and some of a lot older people don't have anybody anymore. Like what these Modine and Cheyenne and these lot are doing, that's the only thing that gets reactions nowadays. That's like seems like the valuable thing, seeing madness.
And they know that. So
yeah,
you have
of course,
to ask yourself
mad.
How much of this is real.
I think.
And how much of it is scripted.
So this was my thing as well, right? And I find this really weird.
Because there's certain things they say that I don't believe anyone would say with self-respect.
No,
but they know if they act that way, it's going to boost them up and they're going to be able to get onto those.
That's it. And there's certain things, even that side of it, like, self-respect, but there's also certain things that you wouldn't do in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Whether it be PG, whether it be like...
And maybe that's why I've never been on the leaderboard.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I'm saying. That's
the
sad thing, though, because you're doing something that's quite important. And this goes with everything in life, I think. You do things that are important. No one looks. No one really cares. Don't get me wrong. Your people are looking. And they do care. And they're the great people because they come for you. But there's like hundreds and thousands of people who are going on my man's live. And I don't want to aim this at Modine at all, because I actually find him bare funny sometimes.
I think it's
I think it's bare funny.
The stuff that I've seen of him in
there's some stuff that is mad funny, and I find it funny. But I do feel like also like they go back to what I was saying. People love that stuff, but I think it's kind of sad because I do feel like possibly, and I don't want to taint him with this or any of the other TikTok peoples, but there's certain people who have issues, and I feel like
it's exploited.
Yeah, people on TikTok are definitely exploiting that. And it's like, and then someone said to me, but who in their right mind would go there and do that? But this was my thing. I remember seeing like disabled, but back when we was younger, disabilities, people used to cuss like people had disabilities.
Just take the mick.
Like a lot of people now, they're a bit more woke with it. They understand it. Don't get me wrong. It's still bad. People still do take the piss with disabilities. But I feel like when we were younger, it wasn't like people didn't really care. They just used to say whatever they want to say and it was all right.
Sure.
So this is in my opinion anyway. But when
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Yeah,
I've never dissed anyone with a disability.
No, I've never dissed anyone with disability either. But my thing is that I used to see it a lot.
Yeah.
And I came from an area which was like really racist, and that went into the disabilities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They prey on people like that as well. Something like in school, I remember there was a kid who was disabled, and he'd done something really stupid in school where he like set something on fire, but he knew he was doing it, and the kids in the school told him to do it.
Encourage him, yeah.
And he did it, and he got a reaction, and they were like, "Oh yeah, do it again," and he got like excited because he could like fitting in for once.
Mm-hmm.
And then it made me think, isn't that what's happening on TikTok?
Yeah. It's
and
exactly
that
what's happening.
That's bare sad.
And
that's so sad.
And following it as a monetary gain.
Yeah.
So it's even more encouraged. And, you know, it's like this Mizzy kid that's just all over the news at the minute. He'd done some really silly things, running people's houses and stealing someone's dog. But he's now on Piers Morgan. He's all over the place.
What is that? I don't get that though.
I don't know the detail to discuss it really, but it's
Well,
right.
the
You've
long
got to
story
do something really out the blue, which is dangerous because other kids coming up, they might think I need to do something really stupid, and that could be a lot worse than just whatever, you know. And
in someone's house
with the culture nowadays, it can be quite dangerous.
Before you go, Rob, thank you for coming on though. It's been a great chat. I thought we was going to talk nonsense because that's what we normally do.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we had a deep convo. Like, this is probably the first deep convo we've ever had.
Yeah, I think so, man. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. And this is your first podcast. You've done really good for a first podcast, you know.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's my first podcast, and I've enjoyed it. I'm glad it was with you as well, Kai.
No, I appreciate you coming, and because this podcast stuff ain't easy, you know. Like, people don't know, like they'll think that it's not a conversation. It's like I'm asking questions.
Yeah.
And they answer it, and that's it. But you've in depth asked everything. So sick.
I've enjoyed it, and I think there's a number of things we haven't touched on. So
but there's always part twos for that. And you know what? That part two would be with everyone. That's what I want to do. I want Satch to be here, Mumsy to come, Nish to come. I want everyone to come and they just have a chat. All of us. Like, that's what my goal is. It's just whether flipping we can get everyone in one room. That's gonna be the hard part. But there will be a day, and you know, there's that one day when someone doesn't shoot. I'm gonna tell everyone, because everyone turns up that day and realize we're always there. So when that happens, I'll be like, listen, just hire the venue for an extra hour and
get the podcast
in while we're there. I'll have the camera people there already. It'll be good to go.
Absolutely.
But before you go, Rob, where can everybody follow you?
Life of Remedy. Everything is Life of Remedy. Everything is Life of Remedy. Life of Remedy.
And TikTok's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and every single day, man.
I'm on every single night, 10 p.m. ish. I'm usually late, but my people know that, so I kind of get away with it. Yeah. But generally 10 till 3 in the morning. Right. I will be live on TikTok. You can find me. Every day is different. It's all fun and games. And if you want to come join the community, by all means, come and have a laugh with us.
And send him all these universe things and whatnot, yeah? That's the most important bit.
Exactly.
Roses, and universes, unicorns, all of that stuff. No, but this has been a sick chat, man. I appreciate you coming. And we'll get it in again, 100%, because there will be a different conversation with somebody else that will challenge you more than I will. Than my stupid questions I ask anyways.
It's been fun.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you, my brother.
We'll catch up soon anyways.
Sweet.
Thank you everyone for listening and watching. Remember, follow us at movingfamous on everything. Like, comment, and subscribe. We get views, but we haven't got subscribers. But that's important because if you subscribe, the easier it is for me to get a bigger guest. So if you want to see Drake on this podcast, just subscribe so I can say, yo, Drake, this is how many subscribers I've got. Come onto my podcast. And then he'll just roll up. He won't, but
you never know.
I've got to try.
You never know.
But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, see you later. Peace.